Hi, welcome to my course, Build Your Own Drawing or Paint App with HTML5 Canvas, JavaScript, and CSS. So this is the introduction video of our course, and let's have a quick look at how our app works, what it has, its features, and so on and so forth. So this is the app. It's a very simple app, if you can see. It just has two parts in it. One is the toolbar right here, and then there is the canvas area right here. This is where we'll be drawing all our drawings. So this is our app. This toolbar, as the name implies, gives us multiple tools to draw on the canvas. So these are the different tools. On default, when you first open the app, this is what you'll be left with. So you'll be left with a brush that will draw in yellow color. That's the default color that's selected right here. And the brush size would be 5 to start off. So if you can see here, it's a little bit moved from 1. So the size of the brush right now is 5. So when I draw with this particular default setting, this is what I get. But you can change each of these properties later. You can change the tool you want to select. You can change the size of the brush or the color. Every single option can be changed later on. This is just the default we start off with. You also have multiple options to change the color right here. So if you click on this, you can see that there's a lot of options to choose from. There is the basic color options right here. You can choose multiple colors and the selected color would be displayed here, so you know what you've selected. And then you can also choose from shades. So there are different shades in here. And then you can choose the different shades of the color you've selected right here. For example, if you select this color, you can select the shade of that color right here. And then you can finally click on OK to choose the color that you've finally selected right here. So when I click on OK, see, now I've gotten the greenish color that I've selected. You can also change the size of your brush. The size of the brush, as you can see here, goes from 1 to 100, so you can change it to any size you want and draw with a bigger or a smaller brush. So as you can see here, the default is 5, but the minimum right here is 1. So when I select 1, this is what I get, a very slim pencil line. But if I go further, this is probably 10 or something, I get a thicker line, and then that's probably 50. See, much thicker. And when I go to 100, so that's the final option. So the size of the brush can go from 1 to 100. There is also the eraser right here. The eraser can also take up multiple sizes. So based on what you've selected in your size option right here, that will be applied to either your brush or your eraser, whichever is chosen right now. Right now, the eraser is active, so the same 100 size is applied to the eraser. So if I reduce the size of the eraser will also be reduced. So that's another option in our drawing app. So you can also choose between the eraser and the brush multiple times by clicking on them. Each icon that is clicked will have a red border around it to let you know that you've chosen that tool for now. So as you can see here, now that the eraser is clicked, it has a red border around it. So let me click the brush, then the brush has the border around it. So when I draw, I have a brush now. Then there is also the reset button. If you want to start over, you can use the reset button to do that. So if I click on reset, everything is erased in here. It'll reload the page completely, so you'll have a blank canvas with all the default properties again. The color is back to yellow, the size is back to 5, and the brush is selected as default. So that's what the reset button does. Finally, we have the save button right here. You can save your drawings with this button. See, as soon as I click on save, I get this particular PNG drawing. And I can just right click and then click on save images, and I can save the image. So that's it. These are the features of our simple little drawing app, and this is what I'll be teaching you in this course. You'll be creating an app similar to this in our course. To start off in the course, we'll be looking at the algorithm of the app. That's going to be the first module. I'll be explaining the different steps we need to complete our app. So there are a couple of steps that you need to complete the app, and I'll be listing out those steps, and I'll also be explaining them in brief. In the second module, we'll be creating the skeleton of the app with HTML code. So that's one part of the language we'll be using. So we'll be using HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. In the second module, we'll be using HTML to create the skeleton of the app. That is the bare bones of the app. Okay. And then in the third module, we'll try to make the app look prettier, because HTML code will just create the skeleton of the app, and as you know, skeletons don't look pretty. You need flesh and color and everything to make it look pretty, and that's what we'll be doing in our CSS code in the third module. In the fourth and fifth modules, I'll cover some basic concepts of JavaScript and HTML5 canvas that are related to this app. I've included these sections so you'll understand our app's code much easier when we finally write the JavaScript code of our app. But if you already know the basics of JavaScript or HTML5 canvas, you can easily skip these sections and you'll completely understand the final modules as well. But if you're completely new to JavaScript or HTML5 canvas, please look at these sections because it'll make everything much easier for you. Finally, the sixth module, where we'll be using our JavaScript and HTML5 codes to make everything work in this app. These drawings, these buttons, everything would work after we finish this particular module. So those would be our 6 different modules of our course. I'll add more enhancement later on, but to start off, this is what we'll be creating with our course. I assure you that you're going to have a lot of fun, so code along with me if you're near your computer. I don't breeze through anything. I explain every single line of code as I code on. So I'm pretty sure you'll find it much easier to code along with me. So please do so. I'd also recommend taking notes along the way if you can, so you can look back at it and brush up your knowledge. Okay? But if you can't do both at the same time, you can just code and then maybe write some comments on the code so you understand what each line of code means. Also, feel free to ask me any questions you have. I'm always here to help you, and I really love talking to my students. So that said, let's get to the course from the next module. Bye-bye.